Welcome to day 9 of our explainer. Today, we're confronting something we literally all battle every single day, the frantic, totally fractured state of the modern mind. You know the exact feeling. You sit down at your desk with the best intentions, a fresh cup of coffee, totally ready to tackle that massive project you've been meaning to get to. But then,
bam, a quick buzz. A notification lights up your screen.
Then, ping, a message from a coworker instantly demands an answer.
Oh, and someone sent a short video. Just a quick one, right? And suddenly your entire morning is completely derailed.
Before you even realize what's hit you, your attention is just shattered into 100 different pieces. And here's the truly fascinating and honestly slightly terrifying part about how our brains actually work. Every time you switch your attention away from your main task, say just to check a ping or an email, it takes the human brain an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus on the original task. 23 minutes. So you feel completely exhausted by 5 p.m., not because you did hard, meaningful work, but because your brain pays this massive cognitive tax every single time you switch gears. It leaves a trail of what psychologists actually call attention residue, cluttering up your entire mental workspace.
So this brings us to a kind of uncomfortable truth about how we spend our days. We constantly trick ourselves into feeling productive by just moving fast. We clear our inboxes, swipe away alerts, check off those tiny administrative tasks, and it gives us this rapid-fire dopamine hit. But we aren't actually being productive, are we? We're just staying busy. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves, busyness is usually just a clever disguise for avoidance. It's an escape mechanism. It is significantly easier to answer 10 quick emails than it is to sit in total silence and wrestle with the difficult, deep work that actually moves the needle in your life.
Because the reality is, real achievement never comes from a distracted mind. Never. The unique value you bring to your work, your creative pursuits, or your personal life is directly tied to the quality of your focus. If you want to unlock your true potential, you can't just play around with managing your time. You have to fiercely protect your attention. To get extraordinary results, you basically have to master your own mind.
to really understand what this mastery actually looks like in practice, let's slow down for a second and step back into an epic allegory. When Lord Rama entrusted Hanumanji with the sacred mission of finding Sita Mata, he didn't just give him a casual task on a to-do list. He gave him a singular, world-defining purpose. The fate of everything rested on this one objective.
And Hanumanji accepted this mission with absolute, unwavering devotion. He didn't hedge his bets. He wasn't trying to multitask or optimize his time by taking on 3 other side quests. He fixed his mind entirely on one singular purpose, actively shutting out all other noise. He understood that to achieve something seemingly impossible, your commitment to the goal has to be absolute.
Now, he faced massive, frankly incomprehensible obstacles on this journey. A vast ocean, towering mountains, powerful demons. But think about what these elements represent for us today on day 9 of our journey. That vast ocean? That's the overwhelming scope of that major project you're avoiding. The towering mountains are your physical and mental limits. The demons are the external critics and those constant modern distractions. And perhaps the most dangerous of all, the inner doubts that quietly whisper you just aren't capable enough. But here is the real secret. These obstacles didn't magically shrink or just disappear. They were very real and very imposing. But his determination simply overshadowed them. See, when your mind is entirely concentrated on a single purpose, the friction of the obstacle becomes completely irrelevant. The sheer power of uninterrupted concentration literally lets you bulldoze through barriers because your focus is fundamentally greater than your obstacles. Let's compare the two states. A distracted mind looks at a complex project or a massive goal and only sees chaos. It sees 100 different moving parts, it gets completely overwhelmed, and it instinctively looks for a reason to quit or, to just quickly check social media. But a focused mind operates differently. Like a laser cutting right through a maze, it ignores the dead ends, it tunes out the peripheral noise, and it only looks for the path forward. It will always find a solution, no matter how big the mountain in front of it actually is. Bringing this allegory right back to you and me today, your greatest battle isn't against vast oceans or mythical demons. The battlefield is entirely internal. The most significant war you are going to wage today is the chaos and noise of the modern world fighting against your own inner calm and clarity. It's the daily battle for your attention. Listen, every single time you allow a notification to break your concentration, you are essentially training your brain to be distracted. You are literally weakening your mind's ability to hold a thought.
But the reverse is incredibly empowering. Every single hour of deep, disciplined focus is a literal rep for your brain. You aren't just getting work done, you are actively building your cognitive character. You are making your mind a stronger, sharper instrument.
Think of your focus like an archer pulling back a bowstring. To actually hit the mark, you have to lock your eyes on a target way off in the distance. You plant your feet, steady your breathing, and hold your ground against the incredible tension of that string.
Now, if that arrow shifts even a millimeter before release, say you decide to just quickly glance at your phone or answer a supposedly urgent Slack message, you miss the target entirely. It is physically impossible to hit the mark if you can't hold steady. And your personal goals and your career, they operate under the exact same physics of focus.
Success, and I mean true, lasting success, belongs exclusively to the person whose attention remains steady. It doesn't necessarily go to the smartest person in the room. It certainly doesn't go to the busiest person. It goes to the one who can lock onto a target and absolutely refuse to be pulled off course by the trivial distractions that derail everyone else.
So, for day 9, here is your highly actionable challenge. First, choose the single most important task on your plate right now, the one you've been actively avoiding because it requires real, sustained effort. Second, physically remove your phone from the room. Don't just turn it face down, put it in a completely different room to eliminate the trigger altogether. And third, commit to 90 uninterrupted minutes of work. Why 90 minutes? Because human beings operate on these natural rhythms called ultradian rhythms, and 90 minutes is the exact cycle our brains need to ramp up, reach peak cognitive depth, and execute highly complex work.
I want you to treat this chosen task with the exact same reverence Hanumanji gave to his sacred mission. Close the door, silence the world, strip away every single excuse. Actually experience what it feels like to use your mind at its absolute full capacity, without the constant digital noise of the modern world holding you back. A mind that cannot stay focused will simply never reach its highest potential. So I leave you with this question for day 9. Will you let the endless noise and cheap dopamine conquer you, or will your determination dwarf every single obstacle in your path? The choice is entirely yours. Fix your eyes on the target and begin.